Have you ever watched a bird soaring through the sky? It tilts its wings just a little to turn and glide. The very tips of its wings are key to its graceful dance in the air. This simple, elegant idea has been at the heart of human flight from the very beginning. It's a cosmic connection, linking the first adventurous gliders to the most imaginative aircraft of the future. The wingtip is not just the end of the wing, it is the place where the magic of control happens. It's where a pilot or a computer can whisper to the wind and tell the machine where to go. From the dawn of aviation to our dreams of tomorrow, the secret to mastering the sky has always been out on the edge. This story begins over a century ago with two brothers and a revolutionary idea. But it doesn't end there. It stretches forward into a future we are still busy imagining. We will look at two incredible flying machines. One is a historical treasure made of wood and cloth. The other is a futuristic concept born from digital screens and powered by pure thrust. The Wright brothers' 1902 glider and the conceptual Dragonfly jet aircraft seem worlds apart. One used strings to twist its wings, the other uses powerful jet engines at its wingtips. Yet, they share a fundamental secret. Both machines understood that to command the air, you must first command the wingtips. Imagine holding the reins of the wind itself. That is what controlling an aircraft is all about. You are constantly making tiny adjustments to stay balanced, just like riding a bicycle. For the earliest aviators, this meant physically warping the entire structure of the wing. For pilots of the future, it might mean precisely directing the fiery blast of a jet engine. The tools change, the materials evolve. The power source transforms from muscle and wind to complex engines. But the principle remains the same. The forces applied at the farthest points of the wings give the pilot the leverage needed to roll, pitch, and yaw their way across the heavens. So let's embark on a journey through time and technology. We'll travel back to the sandy dunes of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Then, we'll leap forward into a world of advanced aerodynamics and powerful computation. We will see how a simple, brilliant observation about how birds fly has echoed through the generations. It inspires engineers to find new and ever more sophisticated ways to interact with the air. The story of flight is not just about getting off the ground. It is about the beautiful, complex, and clever art of steering among the clouds, all thanks to the power of the wingtip. Let's go back in time to 1902. The Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur, are not just trying to fly, they are trying to flight. They built a glider with two sets of wings, one stacked above the other, a biplane design. These wings were long and thin like an albatross. Lying on the lower wing, the pilot would look out at a world that had, until then, only been seen by birds. Their machine had no engine. It was a true glider, relying on wind and gravity. But it held a stroke of genius. 4 simple strings ran from the pilot's controls out to the very edges of the wings, ready to give the glider its direction and its grace. How did these strings work? The pilot would move a hip cradle, a part of the glider they controlled by shifting their body weight. This movement pulled on the strings. The strings, in turn, would twist the ends of the wings in opposite directions. This technique was called wing warping. One wingtip would twist downwards, creating more lift. The opposite wingtip would twist upwards, creating less lift. This difference in lift would cause the glider to roll, allowing the pilot to initiate a turn. It was a direct, physical connection between the pilot and the air, a clever mechanical system that mimicked the way a buzzard flexes its wings to steer. To make this wing warping possible, the wings themselves had to be both flexible and strong. The Wrights built a framework of wooden ribs and spars. These ribs gave the wing its curved shape, which is essential for creating lift. But they also had to be durable enough to handle the stress of being constantly twisted and bent by the control strings. If the ribs were too weak, the wing would snap under the strain. This careful engineering, this focus on a strong internal structure, was just as important as the idea of wing warping itself. It was the skeleton that allowed the wings to perform their dance. The Wright's glider was a masterpiece of simple, effective design. It had a forward elevator to control its climb and descent, and its double-decker wings provided ample lift. But the true breakthrough was the control it offered. By placing the power of steering at the wingtips, they solved the problem of aerial navigation. They proved that a human could balance a machine in the air, not just be a passenger on a kite. Their four strings were the threads that pulled the future of aviation into existence, demonstrating a principle that would echo for generations to come. Now let's leap forward into a potential future. Imagine a flying machine called the Dragonfly jet aircraft. It looks like something from a science fiction movie. It doesn't have the boxy fabric-covered wings of the past. Instead, it features a sleek tandem delta wing design. This means it has two sets of sharp triangular wings, one behind the other. This shape is designed for high-speed, efficient flight through the atmosphere. There are no visible flaps, ailerons, or rudders, the traditional surfaces we see on modern airplanes. The Dragonfly's secret to control is far more direct and powerful. Its magic, just like the Wright gliders, is found at its wingtips. At the tip of each of its four wings sits a small, powerful jet engine. These are not just for pushing the aircraft forward. These engines are mounted on special gimbals, allowing them to pivot and change the direction of their thrust. This is a technology known as thrust vectoring. Instead of using flaps to push against the air, the Dragonfly jet uses the raw power of its engines to guide its flight. To roll the jet to the right, the engines on the right wings could point slightly down, while the engines on the left wings point slightly up. This creates a powerful turning force, giving the jet incredible agility. Just like the Wright glider, the Dragonfly jet's design depends entirely on the strength of its wings. The wing ribs and internal structure of this futuristic craft must be incredibly robust. They are not just supporting the lift created by airflow, they are the mounting points for four powerful jet engines. These wings must withstand the intense heat, vibration, and immense forces generated by the engines as they pivot to steer the craft. The materials would need to be advanced composites, perhaps reinforced with carbon nanotubes or titanium alloys, creating a skeleton far stronger than the spruce and ashwood the Wrights used, but serving the exact same purpose. The flight of the Dragonfly jet would be a silent, computerized ballet. A pilot, or more likely an advanced artificial intelligence, would send electronic signals to the engines. These signals would command minuscule, instantaneous changes in the direction of thrust from each of the four engines. This allows the jet to perform maneuvers that are impossible for conventional aircraft. It could hover, slide sideways, or make hairpin turns at high speed. It is the ultimate expression of control, moving from twisting a wing with a string to redirecting pure energy. The principle is the same, but the execution is a universe apart. When you place the Wright glider and the Dragonfly jet side by side, their similarities are as striking as their differences. Both machines are a testament to the idea that the most effective way to control an aircraft is by applying forces at its wingtips. This provides the greatest leverage to roll and turn the vehicle. The Wrights used human muscle and strings to warp their flexible wings. The Dragonfly jet uses computers and vectored thrust to pivot its powerful engines. The core principle, the physics of leverage, is a constant thread connecting these two distant points in aviation history. Both designs also share a deep reliance on the structural integrity of their wing ribs, which must bear these control forces. The contrasts, of course, are vast and speak to over a century of progress. The Wright's glider was an elegant construction of wood, cloth, and wire, flying slowly in the dense air near the ground. The Dragonfly jet is a concept of advanced composites and alloys, designed for extreme speeds and altitudes. The glider's control was manual, direct, and tactile. The jet's control is electronic, indirect, and computational. The very shape of the wings tells a story of evolution, from the long, straight wings designed for low-speed lift, to the swept-back delta wings optimized for slicing through the air at supersonic speeds. This evolution teaches us a profound lesson about innovation. It requires two things in equal measure: imagination and engineering. The Wright brothers imagined a way to control flight by watching birds, a spark of pure creative insight. But they could only realize that vision through painstaking engineering, building, testing, and strengthening the physical structure of their glider. Similarly, the concept of the Dragonfly jet begins with a bold idea: What if we could steer with the engines themselves? But making it a reality would demand breakthroughs in material science, computer science, and propulsion technology. Strong materials and strong ideas must fly together. The sky is not the limit, it is an invitation. The journey from wing warping to thrust vectoring shows us that the fundamental truths of science are our launchpad. By standing on the shoulders of pioneers like the Wrights, we can see farther into the future. Every aircraft in the sky today is a descendant of that first controllable glider. And the aircraft of tomorrow are being dreamed up right now, inspired by the lessons of the past and fueled by our boundless curiosity. The story of flight is constantly being written, and it is a story that invites you to look up and imagine what comes next.